better indicator po ito ng anemia than the count of the RBC, than the hematocrit. So this is a better indicator of the presence of anemia. So how do we measure the hemoglobin? So your hemoglobin should be converted to cyan-met hemoglobin by using a reagent known as the Drabkin's reagent. Ma'am, bakit cyan-met hemoglobin? Bakit kailangan pa siya i-convert? Kasi po, mas stable to in terms of measurement. So pagka na-convert na siya, this could be tested using, or this could be measured using a spectrophotometer, no, at 540 nanometers. So we measure the intensity. So the intensity of the solution is compared to a known standard. Tapos kino-compute yon. May mathematical computation yan to convert it to hemoglobin concentration. But nowadays, yung Drabkins, kasi ano yan it contains cyanide, potassium cyanide, and potassium ferricyanide. So it's an environmental hazard. Therefore, kino-convert na natin, or we replace it already with a better and more environment-friendly reagent, which is ionic surfactant. It is a reagent known as sodium lauryl sulfate. Okay? Next, hematocrit naman, on the other hand, ang minemeasure naman natin dito is yung pagpapak, no? Pagpak ng RBC. So, yung pagpatong-patong niya, okay, kasi ganito yung process. So, we collect the blood using an EDTA, anticoagulant, and then, after mixing it properly, we will transfer it in a capillary tube. Okay, so we will seal the bottom of the capillary tube. So, siguro, 2/3 of the capillary tube will be filled with the collected blood. Then yung dulo will be sealed with a clay and a wax. So, ilalagyan mo ng wax at saka ng clay sa dulo yon. Then afterwards, meron tayong tinatawag na microhematocrit centrifuge. So, what we do, ilalagay natin yun doon, and then, isa-centrifuge siya, and then after centrifugation, eto po yung magiging resulta. So, in the capillary tube, maghihiwa-hiwalay yung tinatawag nating PCV. PCV is packed cell volume. So, technically, those are made up of RBC na nagpatong-patong. Okay? And then, may buffy coat. Yung buffy coat is a white area above the PCV, which contains WBC and platelet. At of course, yung nasa taas, yung fluid component, which is the plasma. Okay? So, ang gagawin mo dyan, i-measure natin yung height. Okay? I-measure natin yung height ng packed cell volume, and meron tayong specialized na ruler, no, or pang-measure na ginagamit dyan. And usually, ang unit ng hematocrit ay in percent. So, naka-percent yan. Over 100%, ibig sabihin, 100% po yung total na height, no? From the PCV sa baba hanggang dun sa plasma. How many percent yung PCV out of the 100? So, kadalasan ng hematocrit is presented in percent. Okay? And then, after determining the hematocrit, so yan yung pagkakapak ng cell, no, ng mga RBC, we can also determine yung mga RBC indices. So this time, hindi po ito dine-determine using a sample. We only compute it by the use of RBC count, hemoglobin concentration, and the ratio of your hematocrit. So, we have the MCV, or the mean cell volume. It will reflect the diameter of the RBC. Then the MCHC, or the mean cell hemoglobin concentration, that will tell us the RBC staining intensity and the amount of the central pallor. By the way, I forgot to mention this doon sa RBC. Yung central pallor is associated with the concentration of the hemoglobin. Alala yung central pallor, yung nasa gitna. Tama? So this is equivalent to 1/3 of the RBC diameter. Now, the central pallor can reflect the hemoglobin concentration, whether it's high or whether it's low. Okay, ngayon, kapag more than 1/3 ang diameter ng central pallor, it only means that the hemoglobin concentration is decreased. Okay? Pag malawak ang central pallor, ibig sabihin, occupying already 2/3, no, of the diameter of the RBC, then it means that mababa po ang hemoglobin concentration ng particular cell na yon. Klaro po ba yon? Okay. Now, if we're going to measure the MCHC, it is expressed in grams per DL. Again, we only compute this. From the RBC count, tsaka na natin i-discuss yung kanyang formula. Okay? Next time na. So, tandaan muna na this is expressed in grams per DL as the unit. MCH, on the other hand, will reflect naman the mass of the hemoglobin. So, this is in picogram. And then the RDW, this is the red cell distribution, red blood cell distribution width. So this will determine naman, or this will express naman the degree of anisocytosis. And when you say anisocytosis, yung variation pagdating sa cell size. So kung halimbawa, mataas ang RDW, it only means that there is also increase in poikilocytosis. So, ibig sabihin, marami pong magkakaiba ang na shape, no, ng RBC. I mean, marami magkakaiba sa size ng ba't poikilo? Aniso pala, sorry. Anisocytosis. So, ibig sabihin, mas marami ang magkakaiba ang sizes. So, may maliliit, may malalaki. Dapat, kasi ang expected natin, dapat pare-parehas or even ang sizes nila. But when you have anisocytosis, there's variation in the cell size. Okay. Now, let's move on to the white blood cell. So, as you remember, there are two parameters, no, sa WBC. Tama ba? So, we have the total enumeration, or what we call as the WBC count. And then we also have the differential counting. So pag sinabi nating WBC count, ito yung total enumeration. Ibig sabihin, bibilangin mo lahat, no, ng WBC regardless of the type. So sama-sama na yan, neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, lymphocyte, monocyte. Total. Pag sinabi naman nating differential count, we're only going to count 100 cells. And among the 100 cells, in which percent po ng population ang neutrophil, eosinophil, basophil, lymphocyte, and monocyte? Right? So, start tayo sa discussion ng, bigyan ako kayo ng short overview. Ano ba yung white blood cell? White blood cell is similar to the red blood cell in terms of the site of production. So, lahat naman ng blood cells, kung adult, nanggagaling po sa bone marrow. But, in terms of the lymphocyte, no? Ang lymphocyte, like the T cell, meron pong ibang lymphoid organs na involved. For example, for the T cells, andyan ang thymus. So, hindi lang si bone marrow. Hindi katulad ng RBC, si bone marrow lang ang associated, no, sa site of production. But in this type of WBC like lymphocytes, may iba pang lymphoid tissue na involved. Like what I said, sa T cell, those are these are your thymus. Diba? Okay. So, bakit ba natin siya tinawag na white blood cell? Kasi po, kapag hindi mo siya nilagyan ng stain, it is colorless. So, kailangan natin siya lagyan ng stain, polychromatic stain, para makita nyo yung differences nila. So it's very hard to determine kung ano yung type ng white blood cell kasi pare-parehas po yan na kulay colorless. Alright? So, ang white blood cell, as you all know, this is involved in our immunity. Tama? Naalala niyo pa ba yung cellular at humoral? Pag sinabi nating cellular, ito sila phagocytes, sila macrophage, sila NK cells, no? Pag sinabi naman nating humoral, si B cell. Bakit si B cell? Kasi involved yan sa production ng antibodies. Kaya kung mapapansin niyo dito, ang function, general function ng white blood cell is protection from infection as well as injury. Now, what is the normal total count of WBC in our blood? So that is between 4,500 to 11,500 cells per microliter. So ibig sabihin, kapag mas mataas or mas mababa, dyan sa normal value natin, it is indicative of the presence of abnormality. So may mali, di ba? So ano ba ang tawag natin dun sa condition wherein mababa ang count ng WBC? We call it leukopenia. Alright? Pagka naman mataas, we call it leukocytosis. And kapag may malignancy, ibig sabihin may cancer, no? So, uncontrolled ang proliferation ng mga WBC mo dito. Pag sinabi nating uncontrolled, may mga, kasi di ba ano yan, may mature at saka immature cells. Ang mga immature cells are commonly found in the bone marrow. Doon lang sila, restricted lang lahat ng immature cells sa bone marrow. Ang mature cells lang dapat ang makikita natin sa peripheral blood, yung nagsisirculate. But if the patient has leukemia, then pati immature cells makikita natin sa peripheral blood. Kasi uncontrolled na eh. Hindi niya na sinusundan yung normal na location ng mga cells. Okay? So posible na po natin siyang makita pati sa peripheral blood, yung mga immature cells. So that is an example of malignancy. And by the way, huwag sinabi natin leukemia, lahat na yan ng WBC. Lahat na ng WBC. Okay. Let us start with the granulocyte. So you know for a fact that there are two groups of WBC. We call them the granulocyte and the agranulocyte. So let's start with the neutrophil. So neutrophil is part of or the most effective phagocyte, especially if that is bacterial pathogen. Diba? So, pinaka-abundant, pinaka-marami sa lahat ng granulocyte to. Kasi if we're going to perform a differential count, ang population po nito ranges from 35 to 70%. So, ganun kadami ang neutrophil. Among the 100 cells, 35 to 70 ang mabibilang mo dyan na neutrophil. Okay? Tapos, if you look at it under the microscope, you will see the structure. Look at the nucleus. Yan yung tinatawag natin na segmented or lobulated nucleus. When you say segmented or lobulated, meron pong parang mga lobules. Isang nucleus lang yan. Isa lang yan. Hindi po yan magkakahiwalay. They are connected actually by parang thread. Okay? Parang sinulid na lang yung nipis nung segment na nagko-connect sa kanila. So, magkakarugtong pa rin yung mga yan via segmentation. Alright? Via segments, rather. Yan ang mature form ng neutrophil. Okay? Those are the mature form of neutrophils which, kapag yan ay mature form, nagpa-perform ng function. Tandaan nyo pag mature form, it performs its specified function. So kapag segmented na siya, pwede na siyang maging phagocytic cell. So kaya nga po, this is very effective in destroying the microorganisms, especially the bacteria. Okay? So, we have 3 to 5 lobules sa mga neutrophil. So kung bibilangan niya yan, tatlo yan. 1, 2, 1. Yan. 2, and 3. Right? Then, so meron din mga conditions na associated kapag halimbawa mababa ang neutrophil count, you call it neutropenia. So, kailan nangyayari yan? Kailan bumababa ang neutrophil count? So, number one, affected by medication. Yung mga drugs. Okay? Then, number two is viral infection. So, it doesn't necessarily mean na kapag may viral infection, sa system natin, talagang bumababa ang neutrophil. Hindi ganon. Sa count, affected siya. Okay? But in reality, hindi naman talaga. Hindi naman talaga siya bumababa. Sa the way lang, kasi yung way ng pagbibilang natin, halimbawa, di ba, magbibilang ka ng 100. By the way, pag may viral infection pala, ang mataas ay lymphocyte. And lymphocyte, siya yung, di ba, ang pinakamarami sa count, si neutrophil. Pumangalawa, si lymphocyte. So, ganito ang nangyayari. Kapag may viral infection, tumataas ang count ng neutrophil. Okay? Ngayon, kapag nagbilang ka, di ba, kumuha ka ng sample, nagbilang ka ng 100 na cells. Kung tumaas ang value or kung tumaas ang bilang ng lymphocyte, of course, maapektuhan nun yung population ng neutrophil. So, mas marami kang mabibilang na lymphocyte than the neutrophil. But it doesn't necessarily mean na sa system natin, bumababa ang neutrophil. Hindi, na-overwhelm lang siya ng lymphocyte. Hindi siya bumababa. Na-overwhelm lang siya ng bilang ng lymphocyte. Kaya pag nagbilang ka ng 100, kumuha ka ng sample, nagbilang ka ng 100 cells, mas marami kang mabibilang ngayon na lymphocyte than the neutrophil. Do you get the point? Parang sa 100 slots, okay? Dahil mas marami na ang ngayong lymphocyte, mas o-occupy na ngayon ni lymphocyte yung 100, yung majority ng 100 na spot. Nagigets po ba? But again, it doesn't necessarily mean na sa system natin, nag-decrease ang neutrophil count kapag may viral infection. Clear po ba yon? Ang talagang magpapababa ng neutrophil count natin is when you're taking medication that can affect the neutrophils. Okay? Next, neutrophilia, mataas. So sabi ko nga kanina, bacterial infection. Bakit ma'am bacterial infection? Kasi po, yung granules nila, nakikita niyo yung purple na granules? Yan. So, di ba may mga purplish blue granule siya. May content na antibacterial enzymes, yung mga yan. So, it contain different antibacterial enzymes, which is important para ma-digest yung bacteria. Clear ba yun? Next, di ba you're already familiar kasi nag-hematopoiesis na kayo. So, familiar na kayo na bago tayong mag-form ng mature or mag-develop ng mature na cell, dadaan po yan sa iba't ibang stages. Tama ba? So, bago ka magkaroon ng segmented, band muna. Okay? Band neutrophil po muna. Okay? So, eto po muna si band bago ang segmented. So, I have here an arrow. So, what's the difference? Actually, yung shape ng kanilang nucleus. As you can see, kapag segmented, may lobulation. Kapag band, walang lobulation, walang segmentation. Now, here's the difference. Another difference. Ang band, majority of the bands are actually found in the bone marrow. Kasi immature pa yan eh. Karamihan ng mga band, makikita natin sa bone marrow. Normally, pero meron din naman ko konti. Makikita ka niya normal sa peripheral blood, pero very minimal lang yung amount niya. Ngayon, kapag excessive or severe ang bacterial infection, nare-release sila from the bone marrow. Okay, kailangan nating tulungan, no? Yung segmented neutrophil. So, dahil nasa bone marrow lang karamihan sa kanila at siya na yung susunod, no? Ay segmented, marirelease sila sa peripheral blood. And when that happens, ang tawag natin doon, left shift. Okay? Left shift. Clear po ba? Indication of severe bacterial infection. Okay. Next, proceed tayo kay eosinophil. So, hindi po siya katulad ng neutrophil na may 3 hanggang 5 or 3 to 5 lobules. Ito, bilobe lang siya. Kadalasan 2 o 3. Yung lobulation niya. So, you can see here, 2 lang, di ba? And look at the granules. The granules are large, it's refractile, and it's bright red orange or orange red, no? Bright orange, orange red, or red orange, pareho lang yon. Okay? Ngayon, para saan ang pag-increase ng eosinophil? Or ano yung mga rason bakit nag-i-increase ang eosinophil? Probably because of allergic reaction. May mga contents yan na important na nare-release during allergic reaction. Also, kapag unable ang mga phagocyte to engulf, lalo-lalo na yung mga large na foreign body like parasite, so may capability na patayin yon or i-eliminate yon ng mga eosinophil. When the pathogen is too large, no, for phagocytosis, the example, parasite, that could be eliminated by eosinophil. Ngayon, yung tinatawag nating eosinopenia, which is yung mababa, yung eosinophil count, theoretical lang siya. Bakit? Kasi kita, 1 to 3% lang ang eosinophil. So, that's the normal count. Kapag bumaba pa yan, very insignificant na. Kasi at the first place, mababa naman na talaga yung population niya. So, pag bumaba pa yan, hindi mo na siya masyadong mapapansin or hindi na siya ganun ka-significant. Right? Therefore, eosinopenia, similar with basopenia, kasi ang basopenia ay 0 to 1% lang yan, ang population niya, no? So, ganun din ang basopenia, theoretical and rarely used. Pero sa basophilia, okay, basophil tayo pag tumaas ang basophil, ang ibig sabihin nun, kasi very rare na mataas yan wala yan association sa mga infection. Hindi siya associated sa pag-increase sa kahit anong infection. Pero, pag nag-increase yan, that is reflective of the presence of malignancy. Pag sinabi nating malignancy, yung leukemia. Diba? Pag sinabi nating leukemia, uncontrolled proliferation. And normally, hindi naman natin yan halos makita sa peripheral circulation. Pero, nung nagkaroon ng leukemia, dahil nga uncontrolled yung production, nakita mo siya sa peripheral blood. So once nakita mo yan na madami sa peripheral blood, it means ay may malignancy yung patient. Probably a type of leukemia. And ang basophil, di ba, konti lang siya sa blood kasi karamihan ng population yan pumupunta po sa tissue. Kaya kung baka magtaka kayo, bakit mang konti lang ang eosinophil sa peripheral blood? Kasi very transient, ibig sabihin, from the peripheral blood, it proceeds to tissue to become mast cells. So, napupunta po sa tissue. Kaya kung konti lang sa peripheral circulation. And si mast cell ang involved sa allergic reaction. Okay? Si mast cell ang involved sa allergic reaction. Clear? Next, let's proceed to the lymphocyte. So, ang lymphocyte naman, as I've mentioned, ito yung second most abundant, diba? Sa population ng mga WBC. A granulocyte na to meaning to say, hindi ganon ka-prominent. May granules sila. Baka magtaka kayo pagka diniscuss natin in the near future, may mabanggit na granule. Pero, very few lang. Napaka-konti lang niya. Hindi ganon ka-prominent katulad ng sa mga granulocytes. Alright? Then, these are of 3 types. The B cell, the T cell, the NK cell. So you're already aware, B cell is used for antibody production. T cell and NK cell, kaya siya part ng humoral, di ba? Ang T cell at NK cell, they are involved naman in killing foreign bodies or foreign particles. That's why it's part of the cellular immunity. Alright, now, look at the structure or morphology. Diba kung mapapansin ninyo, ang nucleus niya, it's round. Bilog lang. And then yung cytoplasm, very thin. Ibig sabihin, hindi po malaki yung cytoplasm niya katulad sa ibang cell. Kaya po maliit lang ang lymphocyte. This is small compared to other leukocytes. Clear? Next. So, conditions associated, lymphocytosis, mataas. Bakit tumataas? Nabanggit na natin kanina, viral infection. Okay? Number 2, lymphocytopenia. Mababa ang lymphocyte count. So, bakit bumababa? Kasi unang-una, di ba sabi natin kanina, lymphocytes are involved in immunity. So, pagka ang patient ay immunodeficient or ang patient ay immunosuppressed, lymphocytes are affected because it's part of our immune system. Diba? And leukemia. So, sabi ko nga kanina, kahit anong WBC, basta may malignancy, that will be involved. So, neutrophil to lymphocyte to monocyte to eosinophil to basophil. When there is malignancy. Leukemia. Uncontrolled proliferation. And then, lastly, for the white blood cell, is the monocyte. So, unahin natin yung structure. Nakikita nyo ba? That is kidney bean. Anong kidney shoe? Kidney bean yan. Baka isagot nyo sa exam, kidney shoe. Kidney bean. Yan. So, ito po yung kidney yan. Mukha pong shape ng kidney yung nucleus. Okay? And then, yung cytoplasm niya, it's abundant. That's why this is considered as the largest leukocyte in the peripheral blood. Largest po ito sa peripheral blood, Okay. And similar to basophil, monocyte ang tawag natin sa kanya pag nasa peripheral blood. Pero kapag ka nasa tissue na siya, we call it macrophage. So, hindi din ganun kataas ang mga monocyte. Mga 5 to 15% siya. So, hindi ganun kataas, no? So, pero third siya sa pinakamarami. Di ba? Pinakamarami neutrophil. Sumunod, lymphocyte. Ito na yung sumunod. Okay? Monocyte. Clear? And since nagiging macrophage ang mga monocyte, considered din po siya as most abundant, pero sa lahat na ng cells sa katawan natin. Okay? Kasi nagiging macrophage na po yan eh. Napupunta na sa iba't ibang tissue. So, it's distributed throughout our body. So, considered po siya na pinakamalaki. Okay. So, it's part of our innate immune response, right? Mga macrophage sa innate or natural immunity. Ang innate, di ba, ay non-specific. So, ibig sabihin, hindi rin siya specific pagdating sa type ng infection. Hindi katulad ng neutrophil, bacteria. Bakit bacteria? Kasi may antibacterial siya. Ang eosinophil sa parasite kasi may antiparasitic siya. Sa granule, ito, non-specific. Alright? But as long as it is non-foreign, as long as it is foreign, right? Hindi niya recognized. Then, therefore, it will be eliminated by the monocyte. So, not only that, pwede din po itong mag-increase in case of malignancy or vascular, collagen vascular diseases. Okay? Monocytopenia, dahil nga mababa din to, in terms of the count, hindi rin siya madalas na ginagamit. So, theoretical lang din yung monocytopenia. Kasi ulitin ko, dahil mababa na nga siya at the first place, kapag bumaba pa yan, it's insignificant na po or hindi na rin natin halos mapapansin. Kasi normally, 5 to 15, di ba? So, pag bumababa yan ng 3 tsaka 2, ganun ba yun ka-significant? Hindi na po ganun, no? So, ibig sabihin, monocytosis, katulad ng eosinophilia at basophilia ang ginagamit nating conditions. Okay? Next, platelets. So, ang platelets ay mula sa mga megakaryocyte, di ba? Na makikita natin sa bone marrow. By the way, si megakaryocyte ang pinakamalaking cell sa bone marrow. This is the largest cell in the bone marrow. Anong largest cell sa peripheral blood? Si monocyte. Pero kapag sa bone marrow, si megakaryocyte. So, saan ba natin ginagamit ang platelets or thrombocytes? It controls the hemostasis. Dapat, sa hemostasis, alam na to ng mga naghihima, 2. Dapat equal ang coagulation at fibrinolysis. Ibig sabihin, pag sinabi natin coagulation, clot formation. Tapos, fibrinolysis is the lysis of the clot. Okay. So, halimbawa, this is the blood vessel, no? Nagkaroon ng injury. Ayan, nagkabutas dito sa area na to. Anong gagawin ng platelet? So, the platelet will adhere, creating a platelet plug. Now, okay, this will decrease the bleeding tendency. So, possibility is magkakaroon ngayon ng sakit, no? Or ano bang tawag doon? Kapal yung injury na nangyari sa blood vessel at mape-prevent natin ang bleeding. Okay? So, by the way, platelets are enucleated. Pag sinabi natin enucleated, wala pong nucleus. Okay? Similar with RBC. Meron din silang granule, pero konti lang. Okay? Slightly granular. And it's small. Smaller than RBC. So, pag mataas, thrombocytosis. Pag mababa, thrombocytopenia. Kailan tumataas ang platelet count? Kapag may, ayan, trauma or blood vessel injury. Pag may sugat ka, tumataas ang platelet mo, no? And then, pag mababa naman ang platelet count, ayan na ang bleeding. Right? Kasi wala pong i-stop, no? Walang mag-i-impede ng bleeding tendencies. And then, madaling masugatan. Right? Kasi na-maintain din niya yung integrity ng blood vessel wall mo. So, kung hindi matibay yung blood vessel wall, then madaling ma-traumatize, no? Madaling magkaroon ng injury. So, easy bruising. And then, may malignancy din ang platelet. So, that is what we call naman as essential thrombocythemia. In this case, or in this condition, extremely high ang platelet count. By the way, ang platelet count is from 150 to 450,000. Okay, per UL. This is normal. Pero kapag may essential thrombocythemia ka, aabot po yan ng thousands. Ganun kadami yung platelet ng patient na merong ET or essential thrombocythemia. Clear? So hanggang dito lang po yung topic natin for today. Ngayon, yung isa nating supposedly na topic for today, which is RBC structure, ipaprovide ko yon through a recorded lecture. So, tanong, sino po ang inyong, sige, dito na lang po. I-provide ko na lang dito yung link nung Google Drive. I mean, nung link nung mismong recorded discussion.